Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're looking at something you don't see every day in entertainment, a really successful narrative reset. One completely controlled by the celebrity. We are diving into Jennifer Aniston's decision to finally introduce her new relationship, and people are using this perfectly modern term, a hard launch. So our mission today, get past the headlines. We want to unpack the details of this shift because it is significant given how private she usually is. We'll look at the guy, Jim Curtis, who's now in the spotlight, and really connect this public move to, well, the decades of scrutiny she's faced. It feels like more than just a photo, you know?
Oh, absolutely. It really does. And that context is key, because Jennifer Aniston's love life has been this public obsession for, gosh, forever. And despite just near constant, sometimes pretty vicious media attention, she's always been fiercely private, really guarded. So when she takes the reins like this, makes an announcement so clear, so definitive, yeah, it signals something big. Personal security, maybe? A totally new media game plan.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Let's break down the hard launch itself because it felt, I don't know, strategic, precise even. It dropped November 2nd, 2025. Platform. Instagram, naturally. That's her space. And the photo itself says a lot, doesn't it? It's this beautiful, kind of intimate black and white shot of her and Jim Curtis. Sources described her cuddling him from behind. She's sort of the anchor in the picture, and he's just beaming, all smile.
Right. The visual is important, but the caption, that's what really sealed it. No vague hints, no emoji puzzles for everyone to decode. It was just straight up, happy birthday, my love. Cherish, nerd. I mean, that's it. That's the confirmation everyone was waiting for. He went from rumored boyfriend straight to official. Done.
And the numbers showed just how ready people were for this. It wasn't just like popular. It was instant, explosive. Yeah. Our sources said, over 560,000 likes?
Yeah.
And 4,000 comments in just 4 hours.
Yeah.
That's not normal engagement, is it? That feels like years of pent-up curiosity just, boom, being satisfied.
Exactly that kind of reaction is why we're digging deeper here. Because it takes us beyond just the photo and into, well, who she chose. Which is fascinating, right? Because if you think about her past relationships, Brad Pitt, Justin Theroux, John Mayer.
Right, big Hollywood names, actors, musicians.
Yeah, high profile.
Yeah.
So the sources are saying Jim Curtis is, quote, not necessarily a pairing that anyone would have guessed. He's really outside that whole celebrity bubble.
Right. So if her past partners were kind of extensions of that Hollywood world, Curtis seems like an anchor to something totally different. So tell us more about what he does.
Well, professionally, he's described as a wellness coach and an author, but the specifics are interesting. His focus is on holistic healing and hypnotherapy. He's called a transformational coach. So it's not about managing fame or careers. His work is really inward-looking, guiding people through these deep internal shifts, emotional, psychological.
Wow, that's pretty deep. So it's not just a new boyfriend. It's like someone whose whole thing aligns with maybe it's a different life mission for her now, which makes you wonder, okay, the media always scrutinized her celebrity relationships. Always. But does choosing someone so outside that world pose a different risk? Will they just paint him as, I don't know, weird?
Yeah. Or
controlling? Does it fix the scrutiny or just change the flavor of it?
That's a really sharp point, and it gets right to the media dynamic. But maybe, and the sources kind of hint at this, maybe that shared focus on wellness acts as a buffer. Like if the relationship's foundation is mindfulness and internal growth, maybe it's less vulnerable than, say, a power couple dynamic between two huge stars. They met through mutual friends, apparently, earlier this year. So the start wasn't some big industry event.
Right.
It was bonding over mindfulness, wellness, and, crucially, a shared sense of humor. That bit seems important, too, finding lightness in all that serious internal work.
Okay, so meeting through friends, that sounds normal. Lower pressure, definitely, compared to the usual instant spotlight her relationships get. And we can sort of trace the timeline before this big reveal, right? They were first spotted, I think it was July 2025, photographed on a yacht in Mallorca. Classic celebrity sighting.
Yep, that was the first glimpse.
But then, after that, nothing. They really kept things quiet. Our sources even mentioned he was at the morning show premieres in September, but they made sure not to be photographed together. Very deliberate.
They kept that boundary totally locked down until she decided it was time, on her terms, using his birthday as the moment.
And that control, that meticulous timing is so important because, to really get why this hard launch matters, you have to remember what she's lived through for decades. Her relationships with Pitt, Theroux, Mayer. They weren't just private lives lived publicly. They became these media narratives, right? Always feeding that awful poor Jen story.
Ugh, that poor Jen trope. especially around her not having kids. That was relentless. So invasive, so unfair. Just constant focus on her fertility instead of her, incredible career.
Yeah. And this is where the sources really connect her finding some private peace with this very public announcement.
Exactly. That intense scrutiny about kids. Her talking about it on Dax Shepard's Armchair Expert podcast,
Okay.
that feels like maybe the clearest evidence we have of her breaking free from that old narrative.
Yeah.
It really frames where she is now.
I remember listening to that. It wasn't just candid, it felt like hearing someone process years of public judgment and finally reaching a place of acceptance. What were the specifics she shared there?
She talked really openly about finding peace, her word, after accepting that having children just wasn't in